Today's episode of Draw With Mikey is in memory of Tom, the best zombie a zombie could be. Still thinking about you, big guy? Well, hello there guys and girls, my name's Mikey and welcome along to another episode of Draw With Mikey, episode 69. Oh my god, it's come so far, there has been such a gap. Now for those of you not in the know or fresh to the channel, this is the midweek season, usually up on a Wednesday, and unlike a full-on art drawing tutorial or a quick time-lapse fan art or something like that, this is a casual chill out section, my opportunity to read through the comments, see what's going on with you guys, and have a little bit of a chat and interaction with you lot. I spend the time filling in my sketchbook or just getting some rough ideas and design work down. Grab yourself a cup of tea, maybe get your own art done in the background, and let's all relax. So, quite a few things probably worth a quick mention, but I'm going to skip loads of them and just get to the meat of it. It's been a while since we've had a DWM. It's been a long time getting from there to here. Oh. In fact, I was just about to go off into a little sing-song already. I don't want to close my eyes. Something, 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 DWM, and I don't want to miss a thing. Excellent. Have I made everybody click away and alienated the entire audience? I can only hope so. So, how are you guys doing? I hope it's really well. Indeed, it has been a big gap. Maybe something like 6 weeks or something? Jesus. Since the last DWM. I had some time out across November from the artwork, and now we're just getting back into things. In terms of the sketchbook, or me just getting some sketches done in general, I'm spending this episode drawing some Valentine sketches, because there's a lot of Resident Evil 1 going on in the live streaming gaming. I am, as you've noticed on the channel, not turning it into a gaming channel at all, but I'm trying to get a feel for live streaming in general. So I'm doing a lot of live streaming on here, YouTube, and also doing a lot of live streaming on Twitch, just trying to work out how they balance and how I might integrate that into just general uploading and all of that ting. So thank you very much for anybody who joins along with other such fun. Of course, remember Tom the Zombie, never forget. In the last episode of DWM, episode 68, I asked you guys what you'd gotten up to for Halloween. That's how long ago it was. So some of your answers that I read through in the comment section might be based on that. I'm of course going to do my best to read as many of your delicious comments as possible, have a skip through, see what's going on with you lot, and of course take down any of your ideas and bits you've got to say. So, that is plenty of ado. Let's dive straight in. This German guy says, something special planned for Draw With Mikey 69. Ooh, almost a winky face. I'm assuming you're thinking about the number of naughtiness, but no, we're going to keep things nice and safe for work. Absolutely. Simply because I haven't thought of doing anything completely rude and outrageous, although to be fair, although the initial Valentine sketches I start doing at the moment are really tight and horrible because it's just me warming up and trying to loosen up with the hand, in the end I ended up coming up with a fairly simple cartoonish-y colour version at the end. It was nice and loose, giving her just a little bit of that Mikey Mega edge that I like to do. But anything, a Dope K artist is already saying, well, surely he means something pervy, as a cover of DWM 69 video thumbnail at least. I hope you've realised it's not pervy at all, it is completely family friendly. Although going into Christmas, we might as well do a few naughty-ish Christmas things. NarianTX says, greetings Mikey, love the DWMs. Recently I've been listening to NPR music. First I listened whilst doing art stuffs as a regular standby. Here's Ravi Shankar and Anushka Shankar. Then are my YouTube playlists and a variety of podcasts. So, this little statement from NarianTX, hope you're all doing bloody well, is basically a little bit about what do you guys listen to, or what do you guys have on in the background when you're sitting down and getting a long session of artwork done? Also, so that I could steal your ideas, and that is an excellent little bit of backup. Ravi, he really twangs his way into some stuff, god damn it. You also have an eclectic collection of tunes on your hard drive, outcast to Johnny Cash, hashtag hardcore crew. Let's have a little sip of green tea. And again, for those of you who are new, welcome. But this is like a completely unedited thing, so there's going to be me swearing, getting stuff wrong, and drinking tea in the background. Breno Silva says, yay! Well, Breno Silva, I'm sorry if that yay turned into a ah, following 6 weeks of no DWMs, but we are back in action. Demon Vizarak says, Kate Beckinsale and Milija Jokovic were the ones that did it for me. Kate Beckinsale and Milija Jokovic. Right, so, you guys are answering so many different questions that I've asked in the past, I think, because I'm struggling to remember. We've talked fair bit recently about Salma Hayek in the DWMs, because for me personally, From Dusk Till Dawn was on my cusp of puberty age movie, where I watched that film and Salma Hayek comes out halfway through doing the snake dance thing. She's one of you guys answered this for me. Her name's like Santantico Pandemonium or something, and when I saw her dancing with that snake, like, puberty kicked in. I was like, oh my god, women. Oh my god, Salma Hayek, I'm in love. So I'm assuming Demon Viserat, Kate Beckinsale and Mila Jokovic were the ladies that just kind of dragged you into adulthood. Jackie says, I didn't even go trick-or-treating. Oh, Jackie, tough times. To be fair, neither did I. And don't even worry about it, because Halloween was so long ago now. My fault, not yours. Kona Draw says, you should try Doki Doki Literature Club. It's a cutely horrifying visual novel. Kono Draw, excellent suggestion. Although, since the 6 weeks have passed since the comment section in this, don't worry, this is a weekly series, it should be. I've actually sat through most of PewDiePie playing it, or maybe not just sat there and watched it, but I've had a lot of PewDiePie on in the background for Doki Doki Literature Club just to see how that goes, because I don't think I could sit down and read solidly through an entire text-based visual novel video game for the sake of live stream, although I'd be willing to give it a try because some of Pew's voices were a little bit off-putting. But yeah, that game is fourth wall breaking mentalness. If any of you guys don't know what that's about and you like your anime and stuff, might be worth a look. And when it's not that with Pew, it's skra-to-do, fara-to-do, brat, and all that kind of stuff. That's what he's all about these days, isn't it? Viking King says, I am the greatest. Good for you, Viking King. And D-Man Sab says, hi Mikey. Hello, D-Man Sab. I like to listen to anime openings and endings a lot. These help me get the anime vibes. Those are mostly Naruto Shippuden and Fairy Tail ones. Sorry for my bad English. No worries, dude. Hardcore crew. I completely understand, so you're good to go. Yeah, I get that, getting into the anime vibe. Especially for me, I'm not going to sing it again. I've done it too many times. The Naruto original or second opening to the original Naruto series, always thought that had good pump. And the original Hunter x Hunter, before the remake, the original anime opening to that as well, just had this really nice vibe to it that I got really used to. It has this really mellow watercolour, like strummy vibe. Really like that sort of stuff. I don't know if I could sit through endless back-to-back anime openings and endings. I think that would just be a little bit too much. I like to sit down to something that's got some flow, you know. So for me personally, I like a long-running commentary in the background, or a podcast, or an album, or at least a mix of albums or on random, but all by the same artist, just so it's got some good flow. Or at the very least, having said that, complete switcheroo, back to mine albums, because although the mix in that is quite eclectic, it's usually got this very kind of sit down and relax to it vibe to it nonetheless. Joel says, for episode 69, you could do a romance epic with a yin-yang motif. Oh wow, I've really let you guys down on that and done nothing of the sort. But because we've been live streaming a lot of Resident Evil HD Remaster whilst I get used to things, a lot of requests have come up during those streams that I should have a little go at doing some Jill Valentine sketches. Maybe not for a proper sit down for a fan art, but in terms of rough sketching out ideas, yeah, I wanted to at least end up with one thing that was in colour that I could throw onto the Instagram, and basically my game plan is to use it in most of the thumbnails for any of the Resident Evil live streams that we continue, just because you guys have been suggesting for a while, if you're going to do video gaming, why not draw the thumbnails like you do with most of your channel stuff to entice people along, and it'd be quite fun. So I've now got a Jill Valentine picture by the end of this particular DWM that I can stick in the thumbnails for future streaming, and maybe some in the past. It was a great suggestion based on your part. Next episode, I already know what I want to do for a DWM. In the we're going to kick into 2018, and I've got to take YouTubing seriously and all that stuff. I never do. I really never do. But I was thinking we need to come up with some sort of OC. And despite what I dare say you're expecting, instead of like a busty anime character OC, which don't get me wrong, we will definitely do, I want to come up with something that's just a bit more simple and motif-like, that might become like a bit of a logo for DWM. So I'm thinking something involving my face and also involving my great big mug. But we'll see how we go on that. Something to think about in the future. 11 Jinjin says, hey Mikey, hello there 11 Jinjin, how's it going? Do you ever use a 3D program to draw guns? You can download models for free, and then you just need a tutorial to set up lighting, and you can just copy and never have to draw another gun again. Ooh, 11 Jinjin. That's a really juicy idea, because it's kind of mix and match because you're borderline tracing if you end up using a 3D software to map out things, but you're kind of not. So if any of you guys used to read or watch Gantz, the guy who did the anime or the manga artwork behind that, he used to firstly actually use a basic 3D software to map out all of the panels. So he just had really simple 3D dummies sitting in a 3D environment, a basic square room or whatever was going on, and he would just use that for the angles and to get a feel for the perspective, and he'd map his characters on top. So he's still drawing in his own anime art style, but in terms of proportions and angles and depth perception and so on, he had that all pre-rendered for him, which is... it's clever. It's a smart way to do it. Like, is it technically cheating? I don't know. Like, it's really hard to find a measure. I completely understand why he does it, because he puts so much time and ink into his artwork. Like, they're visually incredible, a lot of the panels. So I don't have anything against him for doing it. But it does tend to sometimes have a bit of a stagnant or somewhat frigid vibe. It doesn't have these loose swooping moments you'll get in some other anime and manga as a result. So using a 3D program for the guns and then mapping them out onto a character, I kind of like the idea. I probably will give it a go now that you put it in my mind. Is it cheating? Sod it. It's just helpful. Why not give it a go? You're not going to get good at drawing 3D guns. Sorry, you're not going to get good at drawing guns generally if you do keep copying it out. But equally, it might just take so much stress and hassle out of it. I do like the idea. In the stuff that you're watching right now on the screen, I was just really loosely trying to get some rough gun shapes. So I do like something that's not quite a Glock each time round, because I don't know too much about handguns, but basically I wish I'd read your comment before I did all of these Jill studies. We'll come back to that, Jinjin, thank you. Annabelle Meester says, hi Mikey. Hello there, Annabelle. Sorry I didn't answer your question on a previous video, but I just remembered the Corpse Party game, which I fucking loved. It's mostly reading the story and not a lot of game party, but it's so cool. The characters are intriguing and the story is very good. To answer your current question, Foo Fighters and Pearl Jam are two of my all-time favourite bands. Bloody love for Foos. Pearl Jam are also very, very good. But when I'm getting some work done, I prefer to put on a jazz playlist. Also, if you happen to know any Corpse Party already, there's also manga and anime. I would love to see the character Seiko Shinohara in an SAS. By the way, I love your amazing sketches, as always. Thank you very much. That's very kind of you to say. Right, so jazz playlists. Oh my god, yes. Some really old jazz as well, like, I don't know, like Bix Beiderbecke and stuff like that. I'm really like not into the cool jazz. I'm into some real old dank stuff. But yeah, that is actually some really good stuff to whack on into the background to just get crazy flowing with your artwork. Corpse Party, yes, I know them. They are, well, them stroke him is a powerful EDM music producer. Love a bit of Corpse Party, but you kind of suggested there's also a manga and an anime, so am I actually thinking of something different entirely? I don't know. Let's have a little sip of tea. Lovely. Papa John says, definitely play Doki Doki Literature Club. It's too late. Doki Doki. In that I've seen enough of it with Pewds. It's fucked up. Basically, there's no other way around it. It's a really messed up thing. That's totally cool, but I'm not going to sit through it all again from scratch. If only because, thanks to your delicious suggestions as ever, I've got so many PlayStation 3 games to catch up with. Now I've got a collection of PlayStation 4 games to catch up with. There's not enough time in the world to stream and do all of that and do all of the drawings and add a visual novel on top. So I guess my question to you guys who know about such things, if Doki Doki Literature Club is the best visual novel to be playing at the moment, what's the second best? What's the other one behind that? I'm sure it won't be as mentally fourth wall breaking, I get it, but are there ones out there which isn't just like a school romance, something that's actually, air quotes, good? Or should I just give up on that and really dive into the entire Persona series if it comes to getting into a proper Japanese game? Let me know in the comments below. Pliskin1995 says, hey Mikey. Hello Pliskin. I'm wondering if you're into third-person action types of games, then you should play Wet. Careful, it's a PS3 video game I think you would definitely like. I hope you like my suggestion. Also, can you do a fan art for main character of the game, please? Her name is Ruby Malone. It'd be nice to see what she looked like in your art style. I really like your tutorials. Your tutorial really improves my drawings a lot more. Right now I'm trying to make a comic with your tutorials. They're really helping me out. Oh my god, it's a long-ass comment. Basically, it's fantasy action adventure type. Sounds really good. And you've been subbed since the 30k crowd. Oh, very, very cool. Oh shit, I just remembered. I still haven't done a thank you for 200k subscribers video. That's another thing on the to-do list. Oh, that bloody to-do list. By the way, thank you everybody for subscribing along. We talked about this really loosely in something else. That's mental. That's great. Definitely worth saying right now whilst I've remembered. I've yet to announce the winner of the giveaway. Lady Giveaway. She lives with Lady Gwen of Went. Anyway, what the hell? I haven't done the winners for the Ace Pen tablet yet. So one of you lovely patrons on Patreon who is a patron of mine during the November window, regardless of whether you've stayed or left, is in the lucky dip to win that tablet that I've done a review on. I haven't forgotten, and I must get that out of the way as well. Probably going to have to literally open up that list in Notepad during this episode and make sure I've got all these to-do bits on it. But that's always the nature of things. After you have a bit of a gap from something or you're playing around with something else, you have a little bit of catching up to do to get back in. But Pliskin, thank you for the suggestion. Wet, I'm going to open up a new tab here. Google safe search on, I think, for this one. Wet, PS3 game. Let's have a look at some images. Huh. Kind of emo ninja set in a wild, wild west? Oh. Okay, we'll come back to that. Leave that tab open for later investigation. Laszlo Sedemi says, I mainly worked on my game engine. Oh shit. I rewrote a lot of things yet again as I'm finding out more and more about D's language features. That took up a whole day and I'm still not finished. Dude, you're into gaming programming? That is incredible. Oh my god. That took up a whole day. Anyway, I wanted the second art piece I planned on for my first video. I hope I can get at least a semi-decent audio quality, as I don't have a dedicated microphone. Yeah, audio's a big deal, but it is tough. But I really wanted to finish the simplification in my engine, so I didn't have time left. I think I'll stop earlier with the development side of things to leave time for art. Oh, there's loads on here in your comment section. So I'm just going to have a little skim through what you've got to do here. Wake Up Girls and 16 and 32-bit era video game music. Oh, dude, like 8-bit video game music is massive as well. Like, people remake albums in just 8-bit engines, like Radiohead's OK Computer and stuff like that. You can listen to the whole thing really deconstructed. It's an incredible experience, if you like that kind of thing. And I really love 16 and 32-bit era music if it's kind of sampled into 80s new retro wave like synth and stuff like that. Oh, that really hits a spot for me. And yeah, I think I don't know, genre deconstruction, because you've mentioned that in your comment, is a pretty good way to think about it. Anyway, could I do more tutorials on clothing is what you get to by the end of what you've got to say. Yes, I must and shall do. We've done one on skirts in basic ways. We need to do one about tops and how boobs work in tops. We need to do one about underwear, top and bottom, lacy and techniques. And then other standard clothing. So let's start from the bottom in the order that you'd put your clothes on and work our way outward. Elmer's Glue says, hey Mikey. Hello Elmer's Glue. When I draw, I throw on a playlist of video game original soundtracks. That is another really good one to do. You guys have got some great, I was going to say great taste. You guys have got some taste for I really like, and I don't think that makes it great. I think it makes it weird and geeky at the same time, but I bloody love you guys for it. Recently, I've been vibing out to Jet Set Radio and Sonic CD soundtracks. Abort. I retract my earlier statement. Sonic CD are very good. I mean, Sonic's Sonic for the Dreamcast has got a bit of a stigma attached to it because it's fucking awful. And I've genuinely played it as well because I bought a secondhand Dreamcast and it got included, and that made me really sick. Sonic CD soundtracks, I'm not actually going to hate on you because I remember some of the zones in Sonic and Knuckles on the Mega Drive 2 that I had being actually really good, and probably I'm going to steal them and sample them for future EDM myself one day. But yeah, she just caught me off guard with that one. Anyway, SCP Containment Breach is fucking badass and the monsters are really unique. Oh yeah, you guys have often been suggesting this one to me as one of the things to play. I did make a note of it last time round. And lastly, in regards to free digital art alternative software, stay away from Fire Alpaca and GIMP, but Krita is good. Hashtag hardcore crew. Okay, I'm gonna probably do a loose review video of free to use software one day, just to kind of get a feel for it and have my own opinions. Thank you for the suggestions. The Asylum Child says, love your stuff. Thank you very much. You've taught me so much for my own art. You're awesome. And the official hormone injection I remember was Alyssa Milano playing Sam on Who's the Boss. I really liked Deborah Harry, Blondie, when I was younger as well. Okay, Lisa Milano playing Sam on Who's the Boss. I don't even know who that is. Also, what that show is. Sam, Who's the Boss. Just giving it a Google right now. Images. Oh, wow. That is so 90s. So, is that late 80s or deep early 90s? That's who did it for you, huh? Okay, great. To be fair, there's an actress from Twin Peaks as well. I remember being genuinely beautiful. I think she was the one who worked at the cafe. I struggle to remember. Anyway, let's go back to the tab with your comments. Thanks, by the way, Solemn Child. Howling Moon Cinema says, that first one, that face, that villain looked freaking awesome. He looks a lot like the actor Kari Hiroyuki Tagawa, played by Shang Tsung from the movie Mortal Kombat. Where did you reference him from? So, Howling Moon Cinemas, you're talking about what I was filling up the sketchbook with in the last DWM. I was doing drawings by a guy called Yusuke Murata, or Murata Yusuke, depending on which way you pronounce your Chinese names, and he is the ink artist behind One Punch Man. Not the writer, but the guy who does the actual artwork, and he is an incredible talent. And a lot of his... You're not a million miles away, by the way, dude, because a lot of his designs are, a lot of One Punch Man characters in general, are based on popular cinema from like the 80s and 90s and 70s. And that guy, the evil-looking samurai dude in that of Hook Nose, is, I think, based on a bad guy from a 70s Japanese movie called Satomi Hakenden, or like Satomi and the Eight Balls, or something like this. And he plays like an evil sorcerer, underground Tokugawa style chief of a Japanese military, with loads of like cult and stuff going on in the background. But yeah, kind of has a Mortal Kombat Shang Tsung vibe as well. But equally, that Mortal Kombat stuff links back and is kind of based very loosely on a lot of that early Japanese stuff as well. Oh my god, the circle is complete. It's all interlinked. Mason, the numbers. Oh dear. It's a really weird reference that's just come to me there. Lemon says, first is Jose from Fairy Tail. No, Lemon. No Fairy Tail characters were drawn in the last DWM, but thanks for getting involved. Joel says, Halloween equals my favourite holiday, but this year not so good. My costumes were Egyptian and Med Jed and a Mad Max style Road Warrior, but both costumes had problems. Also, it's super cold because stereotypical Canada. Joel, Awakening equals... I remember the first time... Is this what it's called? Awakening? Yeah. We call it the quickening. I remember that the first time I ever went out of my way for sex appeal was a Japanese eroge called Dragon Knight. I bought a magazine just for a poster of it. My mum found out a day later and I never saw it again. For real, girls, I'd say it was some movie when I was 12 or 13 and a woman with big boobs had a button-up blouse that was mostly open. You could see her bra. I kept asking my dad how to keep the picture from jumping when you paused a tape. Oh man, the struggle is real. Like when you're kind of going through puberty and you spend a lot of time in a bathroom, your parents don't see you all weekend. Don't come in, because you've suddenly discovered you can do things. Like if you were from the video cassette era, yeah, if you had like a favourite film and you had your favourite bit but you tried to pause, you couldn't really get a still image, or worse. If like you ever borrow like a video from your mates, this is way back in the day, and that video's got like, because this is the UK, so nothing's ever like proper sex or anything like that. No, it's not the internet these days. But if there's like a air quote sex scene between two characters on a video cassette and you borrow it from your mate, when it goes up to that part of the film, it goes really, really grainy, and you could tell that means that's where somebody has stopped it, rewound it and played it, and stopped, rewound and played on repeat as their own personal viewing experience. Oh man, good times. Nowadays, just internet. Oh my god, people don't know the struggles, right? Jesus. Gregory90 says, hello Mikey. Hello Gregory90. I found your channel again during the Arya Stark DWM and subscribed after 5 or 6 video I saw. Thank you very much and welcome along. For scary games, there is Bendy and the Ink Machine. Oh, that wasn't on anybody's suggestion last time, I don't think. I'm just going to give that a Control-C and open up the notepad. God damn. What is this thing? Is it Alexia or something like that comes up in Windows 10? Stop trying to be clever. Okay, brilliant. Five Nights at Freddy's series, I'm not going to go near that, don't worry dude. Zombie, which takes place in the UK, and the Walking Dead Telltale series. A lot of you guys have talked about the Walking Dead series, and the 2016 Doom game. Gregory90, I'm playing that on Twitch. Come join in and say hello in the chat one day. Twitch TV. Twitch.tv/mikeymegamega. In fact, if anybody wants to join on there, that would be just real nice. That's where a lot of live stuff happens. The last two might not be all that scary. For more, you can check out Markiplier or Jacksepticeye Eyes videos. Yeah, they're usually fairly entertaining. Markiplier's, I guess, is probably better, or Pewds. But I tend not to sit through too many of them if it looks like the kind of game I actually want to play myself, because I do like to have a lot of my playthroughs as blind as possible, and then I just get the people in the live chat to solve all of the puzzles for me and give me all of the hints and tips. Pirate Ignis says, "Hey Mikey." Hello Pirate Ignis. "When I work on my art or any other task, I usually listen to Nuabe's albums like Modal Soul or Metaphorical Music. If a new DWM is not available, of course. R.I.P. Jun Saber." Dude, I don't know this. Nujabes, I said Nuabes, but it's a J. Let's just go into another tab really quickly. Oh wow. Eclectic looking as well. I'm going to come back to that. I think you might have just given me a really delicious suggestion. I thank you. Excellent. I'm going to leave that tab open for later. Somebody I sit next to at work, since I've moved where I sit in the office, it turns out to be someone with quite an eclectic understanding of some really good cinema and albums as well. And he's also recommended some really random old school Japanese jazz and progressive artists. Quite a list to get through. I'm very excited. Charanjit Singh says, "I only listen to DWMs." So it's only the DWMs, my sweet dulcet tones, that you listen to whilst you're getting your own artwork done? Well, you are a hardcore fan. Thank you very much. But, you know, don't just sit through my tutorial videos and stuff on this channel. I mean, do please click on all of the stuff I do, because that really helps me out. Helps me pay rent and stuff, and I bloody love you for it. But yeah, look at loads of people who do art on YouTube. There's such a wide range of incredibly talented artists on here, not just the big ones like Draw With Jazzer and Mark Crilly and stuff. I've recently just been finding what I do as a little journey now is, you know, on the right of when you look at somebody's YouTube channel, it says, "Oh, if you like this channel, here are some similar ones." And I've just started clicking through them, and there's a whole load of channels which are somewhere between 30 to 90,000 subscribers. There's loads of them, and these artists are just blowing my mind. They're so skilled, or they've got such a particular style that's so juicy. Not all of them do drawing tutorials, which is a shame, because I'd love to learn a bit more about their thinking process with their artwork. But yeah, there's so much out here on the old YouTube to get to grips with. I mean, yeah, stay sub to me, absolutely, but have a bloody good look around. I do. I-Chan says, "Can you make poses and facial expressions tutorials, please?" Good job, by the way. Yes, I can. Yes, we will. On the to-do list. Hashtag 2018. Randy Senderlangs, "You listen to me. Thank you very much." Or "I listening to you," so you say in the comment section. Just had a little moment there. You listen me, I listen you. That's like... what have I done? It's like the episode of The Simpsons where the bear's just like, Bart goes up to the bear. It's like a robot. And it's like, "Who can put out forest fires?" And there's you and me, and Bart presses you, and the bear's just like, "You have pressed you, indicating me, which is incorrect." Just always charm me, that bit. Always. Let's just have a little drink. As you've probably noticed, I am doing my damnness to keep the pace up on this DWM by reading through your comments, by keeping my speech incredibly quick. So if English is not your first language, I'm sorry. It's too late. I'm already started. But yeah, I will try to make things clearer and more concise in the future. However, that's not what we're doing right now. Godflame, the Iron God, says, "Well, at least at the end of October, you should have drawn the creepiest thing you've ever thought of to surprise your fan, though, including me." Oh, what was the creepiest thing? Oh, so I did Inktober, which is why I ended up getting almost sick of it and having such a big break across November from regular drawing on YouTube, at least. I had other stuff I still had to work on. What was your favourite or creepiest Inktober monster that we did? Because I really worked hard on the monsters of One Punch Man and just bust into them, which I really thoroughly enjoyed. I love getting to grips with other people's artwork and getting a taste for it myself. Anyway, Alexander Russ says, "Hey Mikey." Hello Alexander. "Really love your art and your tutorial videos are a real help." Thank you very much for saying, dude. I'm really pleased. I was wondering, how do you get your inking so fine and unsmudged? Also, are there going to be more of the athletic female figure tutorials? Alexander Russ. One, doing something like Inktober does genuinely massively upgrade your inking game. Like, I'm much better at inking now than I was before October. How do I avoid smudges? A few basic things. Even if you're just working on a pencil stage, try not to let your hand be naked on top of the paper. Try to use a smudge guard or put a playing card down or another sheet of paper just over to the bit that your hand rests on to stop your natural oils getting into the page, because they actually then affect how the ink takes to the page if you come back to it later. Work from the left to the right if you're left-handed, or right to the left, vice versa, depending on how you like to ink fill in your artwork. We've covered this as a completely separate conversation in another DWM a while ago. But doing that and using like good inks and right pens. So at the moment, when it comes, I used to use a lot for my inking, especially if you watch earlier DWMs, a Rotring art pen, an extra fine nib art pen. And I really like the pen, I really like the flow, and it comes with its own Rotring ink cartridges. You know what? Those ink cartridges aren't that great. The ink is great, the quality is great, it stains really well, but they're not half as waterproof as they pretend to be, because I've tried to go back in a watercolour and stuff like that before and it's smudged. So just really let down by like a really good product, that art pen, but the inks that they use, because it's a cartridge pen, are just not up to standard. So anyway, I digress. I use Uniball fine line isographic pens, 0.3s, 0.1s, 0.005s and so on, because they have a really solid stable ink line. And I use Mitsubishi Uniball micro and fine ball pens as well, because again, the ink stays. When you put it down, it then is a good, fairly solid waterproof line. And I only know that because I've bought like a very basic warm grey set of Copic markers, which turned out to be loads of fun. And I'm using those all over the place, and the ink is staying where it needs to be. So that's what I do. I tend to use very particular pens, although I do still want to get into the dip pen lifestyle. I've got some Tachikoma nibs and some G pen nibs, but I've got some Indian ink. But this Indian ink, again, I suspect is not as waterproof as it says. Why are people saying that their inks are waterproof when, like, I don't know. It's tough, isn't it? Oh dear, we've gone on a pen sidetrack again. You must not let me sidetrack, otherwise I run out of time when it comes to actually getting into your juicy comments. Oh, but talking about pens, eh? Axio Watt says, wait, was there another part of your question, Alexander? I can't quite remember. Oh yeah, and yes, I will do more female figure tutorials, some of them being athletic, some of them being straight up buff. Absolutely. Axio Watt says, this is edited because it looks like you already hit 200k subs. Congratulations, good sir. Thank you very much, dude. It's all thanks to you guys, obviously. Like, I make videos, which is great. So this is my really simple game plan. I make videos. We steal socks, something profit. I make videos, but it's you guys who like decide to hang around and subscribe and get into the comment section. So thank you very much back to all of you, obviously. Anyway, we know what got you into anime, you say, but since you're into a gaming season, I wanted to ask if there's any specific game that got you into gaming. We all have at least one game that paved the way for all of the hours of gaming fun throughout the years. Axio what? Great question. Yes. So for me, my first ever video game, which isn't the one that I will put down to it, but definitely had an outstanding impact. Yeah, my first ever video game I think I ever played that wasn't a shitty LCD screen handheld bullshit thing was, I think it was the original Sonic on the original Mega Drive. I think, who is it, like a friend of a friend had it, or like my uncle had a copy or something, and I just saw that and I listened like everything about it. Oh my god, we're going back to the earlier comment about Sonic CD and the OSTs. Oh, you legitimately have a good point, because in the original Sonic game it kind of goes, oh, what is it? Da 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 do 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 da 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 do 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 da 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 na na na. This will take a minute. Da na 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 da na dun 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 dun, and it goes on, and like even to this day I can remember that music. And seeing that and seeing this bright blue thing, it was a hedgehog it turns out, gathering rings in this neon green like super environment, and just all of the effects, like as a very young child I was just like, what the fuck is this? This is visually incredible, I want to play this. So that was the first thing that did it for me. That's what put me into Sega generation. It's a bit less the case now, but this is back when, this is what, 1992 or something for me? So like you kind of had to pick Sega and Nintendo, because these shitty consoles at this time, I can say that now, were crazy expensive. So I like pooled my money and ended up getting a Game Gear, and then I sold it secondhand and saved up more money, and my mum helped and ended up getting a Mega Drive 2 with Aladdin and other Sonic games. Like, really got my juices in. So that was like my early experiences that really did it for me. But the game that really made me stop in my tracks and made me go, I think I want to be involved in video games, or I think I want to be involved in drawing backgrounds, was Final Fantasy VII. Like, I had never seen anything like that before in my life, and that was during such a great time for video games. Like Resident Evil 2 was soon to come out. What's it? Do. Metal Gear Solid, there we go, that's it. Oh god. Come on, Mikey, link all the brain cells together and then you'll have an idea. Metal Gear Solid was coming out on PlayStation 1. So my next door neighbour at the time had a PS1, and I used to go around his house and just watch him play video games. This is how you'd hang out when you're a kid. And yeah, him playing Final Fantasy VII, and then eventually I got a PS1 second hand that I bought off a guy at school, and I didn't have enough money for Final Fantasy VII myself, so I went down to my local Blockbuster and I used to rent Final Fantasy VII you could rent it for like 3 or 4 days or something, and I'd take it home and I'd play it solidly after school as much as I could, and then you'd have to go back to Blockbuster with it and you'd have to rent it again, and if somebody else hadn't reserved it, that is, and I used to keep taking that back home because that's all I could afford in my pocket money each time around. And from now I was like, I want to be a game background designer. I want to come up with these beautiful environments and ships. I probably didn't quite have it all put into words at that age, but yeah, 1997, Final Fantasy VII kicked in and it blew my mind. Oh, we've digressed again. Sorry. It keeps turning into story time, doesn't it? You guys just ask me these questions on the live streams of the gaming, because they're live streams and we can make them hours and hours long, so don't ever hesitate to come say hi. Make sure that you follow me on Twitter, or at least that you've got the notifications turned on the YouTube channel. That's the bell icon. You can kind of click it and highlight it and make sure notifications are on. Just look for that bell in the corner of the video somewhere down on the bottom right. And that means that if I do go live, you'll get a message straight away, and then we can actually hang out real time and have a chat. Good times, right? Anyway, yeah, Axio, absolutely. So, what about you then? Have you said in your comment? No, you haven't, dude. Axio, what was your first video game that just kind of made you think, oh shit, I think I might be into video games? Go on the plane says, listening to your manly voice is enough for me when I draw something. Charmer. Seriously though, I play a lot of music from the lo-fi genre. Yes, so much good music out there. Absolutely, I got into that as well from. There's like this weird trend where people do lo-fi stuff and it's got like Simpsons on in the background, but really like the visuals are really like super saturated or weird. But yeah, lo-fi or chill step genre, you say, depending on how long the drawing will take, or also the music depends on the genre that I'm drawing. Yes, absolutely. The type of music you listen to, there's no two ways about it, has an effect on the art you do and how you do it. Anyway, if you're doing fantasy, then you listen to more fantasy music. And if you're not late on a horror game stuff, I would recommend Observer, a cyberpunk detective horror game. Love your vids as always. Thank you very much, Go on the Plane. Observer as a cyberpunk detective horror. You have... Oh, excuse me. Cheeky burp. You have piqued my interest. That's also going on my notepad list. Blue Saber Wolf MC says, I would totally listen to the mikeymegamega album. You don't want to listen to any of that. Mikey's Smidnight This? What? Hashtag Mikey goes opera? Oh yeah. Oh, I've got it. I've got it now. Mikey's Midnight Hits. Yeah, absolutely. That's album 1. Mikey Goes Opera, the difficult second album. And Mikey Does What He Wants, album 3, released purely online. Cheers, Blue Saber Wolf MC. I do appreciate that. I am one of those guys who, when he's in a good mood, even if like it's just me on my own, I will walk about the house getting menial stuff done whilst having a little sing-song to myself. So I will sing my way through the washing up if I'm in the mood, because, you know, I don't fucking care. I've got no shame left. But I do appreciate it's not for everybody. So every now and then, like if you guys are writing about something in the comments and I'm like really into what you've got to say, and then, like I feel like I just really have to sing something. I can't help it. It's just who I am. I know it's not good, but you've got to just accept it. It's just who I am. Anyway, Melody Blues says, I just woke up and saw this notification update. Notification squad, Melody Blues. You know what's going on by clicking that bell. I really learned a lot just by watching you ink, so thanks for this, Mikey. It really made my day. Yay! Oh, Melody Blues. I'm really pleased you guys found it useful. Obviously, the kind of format and the setup of the DWM follows a few basic things. There's no music in the background, it's just me talking, and what you're visually seeing is me getting my own work done, or maybe I just need to loosen up, so I'm going to do a load of random sketches in a sketchbook or on the tablet, or maybe I'm working on an art project. I try to make sure I record that so that you can see what art I've just recently been working on, whilst maybe you listen to this whilst you're getting your own artwork done in the background. And that's why I don't have music on here. So I appreciate most of you guys, as we've just been discussing in the comment section, listen to your own music when you're getting art done. So if you're the kind of person that wants to have this or other podcasts playing while you listen to music, there's no point me putting music on here that's just going to detract from that. That's kind of the vibe I'm trying to go for with these. But again, I always... everything constantly evolves and changes, so I always have to check on the format of this. Recently, because I've had a couple web meetings with my YouTube partner manager, who very kindly gave me loads of really good advice, which I'm probably only going to listen to about 50% of. So going into the future, now that we're reaching a point that I'm getting used to live streaming, it's all reaching like this agenda I've got. I think as we go into next year, we're probably going to do maybe a little bit of test running of... I'll do some live streaming drawing, chat with you guys live on Twitch, and then maybe use that as the time-lapse artwork we've got in the background for a traditional DWM. So it's going to be like a twofer. I will still read through your comments in the DWMs, just like we're doing now. Nothing will change there. But the actual drawing part, depending on if I can find a regular time to fit it in, because I guess you're supposed to have a schedule on Twitch, maybe I'll do that live, and then we can really just like dive in and have a chat and have a session or something like that. I'll have to have a think about that. Obviously, I want to do a version of that puts the patrons first from Patreon, because they are what support this channel and the only reason I can really keep this up, but I want to make it accessible to everybody. We'll have a think on that. That's more for the future. Anyway, King Neptune says, mine was pretty fun in terms of your Halloweens, but I didn't go trick-or-treating, I was just handing out candy. Oh, good for you. The best part was me peeking out of a peephole to see if anyone was coming to knock. I scared mostly 20 kids and a few teens. King Neptune, nice one. You don't get enough, and like this is a thing. I'm a bit of a shut-in in a very general sense, so I'm always just like, oh, I could go outside, or I could just draw more. But in terms of things like that, absolutely, I'm all for it. I don't see enough people giving out sweets on trick-or-treating and stuff like that. Why not just for one night of a month? Like, you know, get out of your shell and just enjoy, even if it's really campy and sad, enjoy stuff that other people enjoy. There's nothing wrong with it at all. You're not going to, like, you know, no longer be yourself, have your own values for doing it. That's why I personally don't do very much for Christmas, because I don't have like a particularly large family or anything like that. But I'm really pro Christmas anyway. I don't like myself having a tree or putting up decorations, but I've got nothing against it. And if other people get hyped for Christmas, I get hyped with them. And if they want like help with their own stuff, I'm well up for it, because just enjoy stuff. Why not? Anyway, so much digressing. How do you guys put up with this? I really don't know. Anyway, I just looked at the next. Oh, sorry, I've just looked at the next comment. That boy says, welp, I beat off to Halloween-themed porn. Just another well-spent holiday. Brilliant. So truthful. You're all safe here. No need to lie. Fucking hell. Good. And it gets really Halloween-themed. I don't think I want to include monsters in, like, my porn prerogative. Like, I mean... I guess like vampire, you could get like a sexy vampire, that's absolutely fine. I don't know if there's like a sexy Frankenstein monster. If there's not, I'll draw one. Yeah, I don't like mixing that, personally. But good, I hope you bloody enjoyed it. Always remember, wash your hands and wash your surfaces. Alex Draws Bad says, hey there, Mikey. Hello, Alex. Oh my god. Almost sounded like my voice is going to break. I'm just going to have a sip more of this tea. Ah, delicious. That's so good. Anyway, how was Halloween, you ask? Yes, I did ask. Like any other day in my life. I don't celebrate it, but it seems like no one here went trick-or-treating either. Maybe that whole town doesn't celebrate it. Anyway, about my music, my favourite genres are dubstep and trap, though I listen to some rock on the side. I'm pretty sure this comment is taking way too much of your video, so I'm going to end it here. Hope you have a bloody well day. Thank you very much, ADB. No, that's a fine length of comment. Any longer and it would have been too long, but you're good, dude. Thank you. And no, nobody really kicking up the Halloween vibe. Don't worry about it, Ben, in that case. You're let off the hook. Yato Provovin says, 101th view, I guess? Thank you. And I love to listen to Wait For It, anything. Also, Mikey, I also wanted to ask you, what's your favourite live-action anime movie? It doesn't have to be good, just your preference. Oh, Yato Provovin. Or Proverin. Or Provin? Provin. Anyway, Yato. Sorry about ruining your name. You're opening a can of worms here. There are a number of things that trigger Mikey, and bad live action adaptations of good anime, bad dubs versus subs. There's a lot of things, basically. Turns out easy to trigger. One that I liked, you know what, all I can think of is how much I really hated the Ghost in the Shell thing, but I'm not going to talk about that now. I'm not going to get angry. That's absolutely fine. Anime adaptation that I liked, because Battle Angel Alita's coming out, isn't it? That might be quite good, because that's, although a very popular anime in terms of the cyberpunk genre, especially if you're from the 80s, 90s crowd of anime, like it has good value there. It's not, air quotes, a widely known or accepted anime, so I think that might turn into an okay adaptation. But can I think of something else? Anime that's been well adapted. Definitely not Dragon Ball Z. Wait, no, Dragon Ball Evolution, that's what it's called. That's even fucking worse than Ghost in the Shell. You know, oh god, I'm really struggling to think. Maybe I don't... Oh, actually, they did do a Wait, am I going to say this correctly? Rurouni Kenshin. I hope that makes sense. Rurouni Kenshin-san. Live action film in Japan, based on that, which was apparently okay. Obviously they've done a live action version of Blade of the Immortal that I've yet to see, but apparently that's not bad. Yeah, in Japan they do. Oh, I've got it. Sorry, I'll tell you what it was for me is they made a live action 3-part like, you know, there's a trilogy of it of films to the manga 20th Century Boys. Now if you guys don't know what that is, because I appreciate it's not like a big fighty shonen popular one these days, but 20th Century Boys is messed up. It's really good, and it's about this group of friends when they were kids, and one of them takes all of the random crap that you make up as, you know, when you're just children making up adventures and stuff. This one guy, and you don't know which one of them it was, took all of their childhood ideas and has made it real. And he started this cult which is slowly taking over the country, and he's actually genuinely coming up with these maniacal plans. It's completely set in reality though, so like there's horrible bombings and all this sort of stuff, and like people are trying to work out what's going on. I really liked that manga. Like it's a long sit down, but it's like so well put together. It goes a bit funny and loose towards the end because stuff should have been wrapped up and you feel like they squeezed another season out of it when maybe they shouldn't have. That's the only criticism I've got there. But I got into that manga because I watched the first movie in the trilogy, and I watched that Japanese film because I just picked it out of nowhere, just randomly thought, oh, let's try this. And I just thought, oh shit, I really like that. What was that all about? And then realised that the manga it was based on, and worked my way backwards. So maybe... swing to roundabouts here. Maybe I quite excuse me, I'm losing my voice again. It always happens about this far in. Maybe I really liked that live adaptation because I watched that as a film first, not realising it had an original source material that I'd already been through to compare. So that might be what gives it a bit of shine for me. But I really liked it. I thought it was an enjoyable watch, and I liked where it went, and I love the mystery element. So, yes, Yato Borin. Oh, again, I've given you a long answer. I'm so sorry, guys. What is yours? Do you have a particular favourite one? Doesn't have to be good, because I'll be honest, there's not many good out there. But what would your favourite be? Oh, wow, I haven't thought about that for ages. Thanks for making me dig up a memory. Sloth Shadow says, white noise isn't that scary. I don't think so anyway. Sloth Shadow, white noise isn't that scary? That's the mark of somebody who's not played the original Silent Hill on a PlayStation 1. White noise and the sound of a bell and stuff like that, or a ringing noise. You get conditioned to shit your pants to that sort of stuff. Also Poltergeist, right? White noise with the TV there. They're here. And what is it she says? Don't go into the... No, she's like... Okay, so this only makes sense if you've watched Poltergeist, but I'm not going to explain it. When the crazy old lady's just like... Because this always used to really bug me about her. She's like, go into the light, child. Go into the light, cha. And then like 10 minutes later, she's like, get away from the light. Don't go into the light. And it's just like, come on, man. We brought you into this situation to be of some help to us. And we're throwing tennis balls into the cupboard and rope and stuff. I think that's how it goes. It's a really messed up film. Anyway. Human Shake says first. Oh, Notification Squad. Excellent, well done, dude. And Routes Garvadois says, so I have a different username on here, but my Twitter and Instagram have the same username. Oh, okay, cool. Good for you. Fel DK says, great. I was wondering how you inked big areas. Yeah, so there you see, I use usually, if I'm working on a fairly small pad, a larger ink pen and do that really naughty going in sections thing. If I'm working on an actual final publishable piece, I probably actually get the Indian ink out and get myself a nice watercolour brush and paint the ink in. Because if you need to ink large areas, you might as well make sure that you've got some really high GSM paper that can take the hit, and you might as well just paint the ink on, not just sit there in a pen like blocking out sections and sections like you do when you're a kid. All kids welcome. Wait, that sounded weird. So, Tony Babamoni says... Tony Bamanano... Oh, fucking hell. Tony says, hi, Mikey. Hello, Tony. Currently, I'm just practicing my glass hour body shape. Wish me luck. Oh, good luck, good sir. Getting those female figures from top to hips is always really important because part of the allure of a female form, genetically, and it's like programmed into our brains, is about those curves. Or it is when you grow older, at least. I guess less when you're younger. I guess the first time I saw a character from TV with a sexual side, by the way, I'm a male, 18 years old, was when I was watching Thundercats. Thundercats! Dude, I was expecting a lot of your answers to be real life people, but Thundercats say, and saw Chitara. I've not seen the modern Thundercats, so I only know old school gymnastics spandex Chitara. I just couldn't comprehend, how can someone be that fast with those kind of boobs? They were so hypnotising. But for the rest of the season, that was the main feature I looked for. I was around 14 years old. Good, this is a safe place, you're fine to share. Anyway, you usually listen to Monster Cat podcasts. Oh, shit. Some quality dubstep, trap, and other goodness. Love your work, Mikey. Keep it up. Thank you very much, Tony. Sorry I ruined your surname. Thanks for sharing. That's great. Let's just have a quick look on another tab. This is my own personal research reasons, obviously. Thundercats. They remade Thundercats? That kind of makes me sad. Thundercats. So, 1985 was when a TV series came out, the one that I know. So, what? Thundercats? Oh, 2011. Chitara. Google image result. Let's have a look. Oh, wow. Oh, Jesus God. They have animated the shit out of Thundercats then, haven't they? That looks like... I'll tell you what that looks like. And I'm not hating here. I am hating. Because I don't like this design. I don't like the look of any of it. Thundercats... That's not what Thundercats was for me personally. I'm just biased. It looks like... I'm looking at this picture of Chitara from Thundercats, and it looks like they've done a filler episode of Naruto, where they've had to just randomly come up with a character that hasn't been drawn by the original artist, so it has none of the natural style of the original, but it's inked by the same people that do the anime. Oh, God. Oh, I'm not going to say rape my childhood, because there's nothing wrong with remaking stuff. You've always got the original to hold on to. But yeah, I'm not going to hold on to that suggestion. Anyway, further down your comments. Deeper. How are we doing for time? Oh, we're nearly coming to the end. How many have I... Okay, so here's a slightly annoying thing that I can't help, is that before they had this recent update on YouTube, I could scroll down the comments and click all of the read more things, and then I have like a really good indicator of how deep we are into the comments by going up and down the scroll bar. But it doesn't quite work that same way these days, and it looks like I've barely touched any of your comments on what is a deliciously long list. There are so many of you guys getting in here having a chat these days. I bloody love each and every one of you for it, but it is quite tough to make sure I catch them all, which is maybe why we're going to try to go slightly more of a live streaming route in the future. So I'm going to have just a scroll down. Actually, I know what I'm going to do. I'm just going to scroll up really quick. Scroll. And I'm just going to change the sorting of this comments really quick. Keep yourselves amused in the background. And I'm going to scroll down. Swig Boy says, I'm having trouble comprehending and understanding the imagery of a spine formed along the head shape of an anime girl. Yes, I will do a tutorial on spine and egg shape placement when it comes to the torso and the hips. Why the juice not? I've done a DWM episode actually, where I've been drawing nothing but torsos, based around... In fact, I've done it more than once, based around the building block shapes that go behind the anatomy of a structure. So have a little look through back there. Obviously, it's me just talking and reading through the comments, but visually, you'll see me going through a lot of that. I hope it helps. Imaginary spine placement is important, and it tends to come fairly close hand in hand with line weight placement when you're initially mapping out what your character's up to. Susie Nasse says Persona games for listening to, Reol songs, REOL, Jiro songs, Nico 96, those are the main four. I don't know any of those. Oh, we'll have to come back there. And Time Gresham says, hey there, Mikey. Hello there, Mr. Gresham. I stumbled across your channel recently and fell in love with it. Oh, thank you very much. I've been wanting to learn how to draw for a while now, and your tutorials have really helped me out. Yes. Do you have any tips on drawing a real person in an anime style? Yeah, we're going to come back to that, good sir, because I do have a few, and it boils down to the nose. Drawing real people in a different style is much easier, I find personally, much easier to do as a cartoon style, i.e. air quotes slightly more Western, because you can describe a lot more variation in the nose, which makes up a lot about the face, whereas anime noses are so simplified sometimes, it actually becomes a little bit difficult. So I tend to translate into cartoon in my head and then just do a different type of nose. It's a weird thing, but I will talk about that in more detail one day down the line. And I think we've got enough time for maybe just a couple more real quick comments. Abel Wine says, hello Mikey. Hello there, Abel. I've got a problem with my drawings being consistent. I draw a face that I feel really matches what I was aiming for, but then I draw it again and it's like a different person. Do you relate? And how can I be more consistent? Oh wait, practice. Anyway, another thing. I want to subscribe, but I don't want to have to explain to my parents why I'm looking at women with big boobies. Love your vids, love your style, stay lewd. Thank you very much, Abel Wines. Too scared to click the subscribe button because of my slightly risky content. It's always on my YouTube channel, technically safe for work. I'm never going to breach that barrier because, one, I don't want to mess up your guys' suggested viewing habits, but two, YouTube would randomly shut the channel down if I did that, and three, I've talked about many a time, but I'm not actually massively into hentai myself. Not that I'm here to judge or anything like that, but that's not really where I'm going with things. But I do like to keep it busty, and I do like to keep it a little bit naughty because fuck you society. That's the attitude I have in the back of my head. Anyway, yeah, the practice, but dude, maybe less practice and more warm-up. Always make sure you do a load of warm-up stuff on the side first before you get back to your main characters, because sometimes you can be really warmed up at the end of a drawing session where you've got really good flow. You'll come up with a character you love and you'll try to recreate it first thing the next day, but without all of that warm-up first, and all of a sudden that's why you lose the ability. Anyway, let's have a quick random scroll. Gonna pick the Red Panda Bot. Amazing art, you amazing person. That's really nice, dude. Thank you very much. There's loads of really nice comments and bits on here. Thank you very much. Deborah Black asks, hey Mikey. Hello Deborah. Are you going to try drawing the gang in Final Fantasy 15? It's inevitable. Yeah, absolutely. They're a good bunch. Like they're real people. Yeah, they're a good crowd. But that's a game that I've played for quite a few hours, and I need to dive back in and play that a lot more, because I did actually get slightly bored of it after a while. But to be fair, I wasn't doing the main plot, and thus drawing said things is going to come in. Right, I think that is it for the comments for the moment, you guys. I really just want to say again, a great big thank you for anyone who's noticed there hasn't been much drawing recently on the channel over the last month. Yeah, I took a break, deal with it, I do what I want, but I'm going to get back into it now because we need to get cracking. I miss the DWMs as much as some of you guys do. You've been asking after them and I really appreciate that. That's really cool, guys. I'm glad that we're back onto this, because sometimes if you haven't done something for a while, it almost feels a bit weird to try to break the film or the crust that forms on stuff and get back into the flow. Really glad we have. Really glad we've got this episode pumping out. I hope you guys have maybe managed to get some of your own artwork done in the background. If you have, let me know what it is in the comment section below. Really random quick question. What are your favourite zombie films? I'm taking in suggestions at the moment. If you happen to have listened this far in, I bloody well love you. And most importantly of all, I just want to stop and say a great big thank you to the lovely patrons on Patreon, because you're the guys who actually support me a little bit more directly, and it is genuinely because of you lots, no matter how large or small. that helps this channel to even bloody exist. So an extra big thank you to The Clamps, Joe Reddish, Kihari Art, Ryder2KX, Michael S, Trent H, Adam D, Wesby, Steve R, Julio Felix O, Jamie, Taylor S, Jake Y, Furry Friend, Rory A, Dave W, Christian L, Gabriel R, Minion715, Icy Zagi, Adam T, Nikolai Hassel H, Jeff G, and Jamal Lewis, especially your the higher end lot, and probably scrolling through a little bit of a thank you to the rest of you guys as well. Hopefully we'll be fully into the flow. Maybe there'll be something up on the Saturday. It's still a little bit rocky. Thanks for your patience. Have a lovely week, guys, and I'll see you later. Take care.